Good morning, great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning. Yes, again, intentionally, that beautiful reminder that we get to choose. What do we get to choose? We get to choose our thoughts. We get to choose what things mean. Remember, everything is fundamentally meaningless. Everything around you. What somebody says, what somebody does, what you've done, what's happened. Everything just is. Nothing is good or bad. It's our thinking that makes it so. It's your thinking that makes the reality in your world. That reminds me of this beautiful line from Tony Robbins. Your life isn't about the facts. It has nothing to do with the facts. It has to do with the meanings that you give those facts. Now, why is that so important? Why do I keep repeating this again and again and again? Well, first of all, I understand the power of repetition, number one. But number two, it's the meanings that put us onto a frequency. And it's that frequency that opens our eyes to receive what's basically already here. Now, again, really think about that when it comes to you and what you would love to accomplish in your life. Maybe you have a goal. You've put it on a goal card. And if you don't have a goal card, I do highly recommend that you do get one. Start right now if you don't have one. If you want one of these that are in these really cool sleeves, plastic sleeves where you can, put them in and protect them, then just click on the link that we provide you so you can order some yourself. But if you don't have one, you can use an index card. The whole point is get something that serves as a beautiful reminder, something that you've made important, and then from there it'll begin to materialize. Now, I want you to notice what I just shared. See, it's when I talk about the goal card, it's not about the goal card, it's about giving it the meaning that it's important. Now, why is that important? Well, because what you've made important gets impressed into your subconscious mind. In your subconscious mind, guess what? It's a loyal servant, but it's not loyal to you. It's loyal to what you have made important. Now, again, notice how it all starts in the mind. What's in the mind? Thought. Mind is static itself. In terms of thought, see, that's what's dynamic. That's where the movement is, which then externalizes in your outer world. Now, with this, we've been studying this book, The Master Key System, and I do highly recommend that you have a physical copy of this. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that, oh, all I need to do is listen to it. No, mark this sucker up. And then also get this beautiful companion book, The Subconscious Code, which will help you to organize your thoughts, get you a good picture of your mind. These two together are magnificent. Now, there's another one that's also organized as well. Now, remember, this is not about giving you new information. This is about organizing the information in a way to help you so that it's simple so that you can use it. With that being said, we went over this in the last event that we had of Shattering the Illusion, where we introduced to you the truth that there's no such thing as self-sabotage. Now, I will say something, a reminder for you that there is a special mastermind call happening today, this afternoon, for those of you who attended the call on Friday. So be on the lookout for an email for that reminder because it's going to be really awesome. We're going to tap into a little bit of the hidden chapter, which was not included in this book. The chapter that's so disruptive that we decided we didn't want to include it in the book. So make sure that you attend because it's going to be really awesome, and also invite someone to come. All right, so let's go into this, shall we? Let's go into where we've been diving into in this book, The Master Key System. Here we
When
go.
is your thing on Friday? What time?
It's Friday at 4 o'clock. Okay, you'll be receiving an email. It's today, actually. It's today, 4 o'clock.
Right.
All right. All right. So let's go into this, shall we? 4 p.m. Pacific. We're on page 152. And I really want you to grab onto this. Now, remember, this knowledge here is not power. And you've heard me say this many, many times. And I am saying it again and again and again intentionally because I want you to grab onto it, to make it a part of you. You cannot entertain weak, harmful, negative thoughts 10 hours a day and expect to bring about beautiful, strong, harmonious conditions by 10 minutes of strong, positive, creative thought. Ooh, you see that? See, there's an emphasis here on the dominant thoughts in your mind. There's a powerful question that I bring about and share with you that illustrates what's being shared with you here and is something that you know the answer to. Will you be able to be happy most of the time if you're constantly thinking sad thoughts? What's the answer? No, right? There's no way. There's no way you're going to be able to be happy most of the time if your dominant mental attitude is rooted in sadness, disappointment, and being emotionally involved with the ideas that are rooted in sadness. Things are not brought into existence by thinking of their opposites. Well, it's the same thing when it comes to you materializing this. There's no way that this will become a material fact in your life if your mind is saturated with thoughts that are rooted in its opposite. If your mind is saturated with the same way that you've been thinking, which has led to the outcomes in your life up to this point. Albert Einstein references that beautifully. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking that we used that created them. This reminds me of the definition of insanity that so many of us have agreed to. Maybe you've heard this before. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. How many of you have heard that, right? Raise your hand. But here's the quagmire. In terms of our conditioning, meaning how we've been trained to think, when we think of doing, we think of the physical things, don't we? The physical things. I did this, I did that. Completely missing that doing with that reference is secondary. Now, I'm bringing this up because, yes, while it's true that doing the same thing over and over again delivers a specific outcome, there's something that happens before the physical doing. And what happens before the physical doing? Feeling. Now, grab onto that for a moment. Every physical action you take, all the things that you do in this material world, is motivated by how you feel. The things you don't do, motivated by how you feel. But then what causes feeling? Because your feelings just don't show up out of nowhere. They may feel like they do, but they don't. There's a cause to them. Why? Because the feelings are effects. Think about that. When you're happy, that's an effect. When you're sad, that's an effect. When you're angry, that's an effect. When you're confused, that's an effect. What causes that effect? The answer to that is how you're thinking, what you believe, the habits you have, habits meaning the mental process that's in you automatically, which reveals the true definition of insanity is not doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result as we've been conditioned to think when it comes to the doing. It's thinking the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And what is it again that causes the automatic thought? Well, it's not you. We've illustrated that beautifully in this book. Oh my gosh, this book is a game changer. It's not you. What's causing that to happen is the program in you. It's the paradigm.